What's good, guys? It's your boy DJ. It's been officially 24 hours since we got the news that Sheikh Jassim has actually pulled out of the race to sign Manchester United. What's left at the moment is Sir Jim Ratcliffe is still in the race. He's trying to broker a 25% deal of the club, with hopefully trying to get full ownership over a gradual period of time. And guys, here's my initial thoughts. I'm honestly heartbroken. Manchester United is something that is dear to my heart. I've been a lifelong Manchester United fan. And I was very fortunate to see Manchester United in the glory days under Sir Alex. My hopes for the takeover of the club would have been obviously Qatar. I believe Qatar were, for me, stronger candidates. They outlined exactly what they wanted to do with the club. They wanted 100% of the club, no Glazers involved. They wanted to improve the ground. They wanted to make the women's and men's teams the best football teams there were in the land. They were trying to improve the training complex. And they were also going to, help with the academy also. I think with Sir Jim, we haven't had any guarantees over kind of what he wants to do. He's not really been very clear. He's used, buzzwords such as British-backed bid, but then he's getting in bed with the Glazers. So for me, my initial thoughts are just I'm really heartbroken. And I guess we'll have to kind of see how the Sir Jim news pans out and kind of what he wants for the club. My fear is that Qatar eventually may go to another Premier League team. Or we will never, ever get that type of offer from Manchester United again. I believe they wanted to put down around about 5.2 to 5.5 billion. And I think there was even further discussions of maybe that fee going slightly higher, and the Glazers turned that down. That was double than what the club was actually, valued at. So, guys, I'm heartbroken. We're just going to have to, band together at this time and kind of see what Sir Jim's got cooking. But yeah, big up everybody.
Glazers were never willing to sell. They say the proof is in the pudding, and here is the pudding. The fact that Sheikh Jassim has released a statement, or he's gone through Fabrizio, gone through the media in general, and told us all exactly what he's promised, and the Glazers still hasn't taken it. What does that tell you? That the Glazers are greedy. They were never trying to sell the club in the first place. If they wanted to, they would take the 6 billion, 7 billion, however much it is, and they would run. We know that the club is actually valued at no more than 4 billion, 3.5 billion. So the fact that they were offered 6 billion, 7 billion tells me that, to be honest, no matter what Sheikh Jassim would have offered, they wouldn't have taken it. With Sir Jim Ratcliffe, I have nothing against the brother. I don't know him, same as how I don't know Sheikh Jassim. So it's not really him. It's the fact that, first of all, he's only taking 25% of the club. So the Glazers are still there. And yes, I know the 25% is for him to have control over the football side of things. But come on, why is the football side of things only worth 25%? How does that even make sense? How is he paying 1.35 billion for 25% of the club? Where is that 1.35 going? In the Glazers' pockets. The debt will still be there. Sir Jim Ratcliffe doesn't have enough money. He's borrowed money from JP Morgan. So is the future looking bright for Man United? Unfortunately not. This is not the news we wanted. But hopefully, somehow, it turns out to be a good thing. You never know. Hopefully, in a few years' time, or hopefully, you know what? The Glazers might even take that money that they're earning and say, cool, we'll pay off the debt, we'll take the other half of it. Who knows?
Jim Ratcliffe is going to be the new owner at 25% stake, yeah? And my first thought really is that we are finished. Finished as a competitive club, finished as a global superstar of a club. That is just the word that comes to me, because really and truly, right, we as United fans were really expecting and hoping and waiting and relying on the Qataris taking over and seeing that as our lifeline, right? And with this news of the Qataris not, backing out, withdrawing, honestly, we're just finished. It's very hard to see a positive, and I try to stay positive and, look at the bright side and look at the positives. And okay, there may be a positive in the fact that at least there's some form of change in, the most minimal amount of change that we're getting here is the fact that obviously Ratcliffe is coming in as a 25% minority shareholder, and it's looking like, reports are that he's going to be asking or being received the sporting decisions or something like that, right? He's getting all the sporting decisions, whatever that means, right? But ultimately, it just feels very much like we had this hope as United fans that Qataris were going to take over, and when you look at the details of the bid that they were making, 8 billion total package kind of thing, obviously some of that was involved in revamping the club, not to the Glazers' hands. But it's just sad to see that that hope is gone now for us, right? And now we have to kind of make do with whatever it is that we're getting here with Ratcliffe and the Glazers combined. And honestly, I just have this feeling that we just finished. Like, in terms of going forward, how can we compete? How can we compete with the Cities and the Arsenals even now, with their ownership, their infrastructure, getting the right players in at the right time, backing this manager that he needs, the backing that he needs? And, this debt is still in place. There's so many chains that the Glazers put in place on this club are still in place. They're going to still be in place. And it just feels like we're not going forward. We're not going to be able to move forward under this ownership. And we're going to have to wait at least another, 5-10 years before this, potentially could change again. Honestly, I just have no... It's just draining. It's just heartbreaking to see that we have no kind of future. No, I don't want to be dramatic, right? But it just doesn't feel good for United right now, and I don't really know what we can do. Really, I think we're just gonna have to take what we've got on board. Have to move forward with this ownership structure that we look like we're going to be getting, and we have to hope for the best. We have to hope for the best. We have to hope that there is some form of change, even though it's the minimal change, less than we wanted. We wanted a wholesale change, right? This is a minimal change. It does feel like we're still finished, but we have to hope that there is better, because otherwise, supporting this club is going to be an ordeal. That's me.
Yes, people, I just wanted to give my reaction to the United Takeover news. Obviously, it's deflating news. It's a hard pill to swallow, and as a fan, I'm sure majority of the fan base would agree with this. The Qataris had the better deal. They had the perfect deal. 100% takeover, paying the debts off, investing in the training facilities in the stadium, investing in the squad. But, it just shows that the Glazers never really wanted to go. And so Sir Jim Ratcliffe ends up with 25% stake of the club. And I know he's controlling sporting matters, but for me, that just isn't enough. I wanted the Glazers out completely. But, we're in the situation we're in. We have to find the positives in the situation. And for me, and I hope this is his intention, I hope Sir Jim Ratcliffe's intention is to get the Glazers out eventually. And I know it's a slower process, but it's better than nothing. I think he just needs to answer a lot of questions, question marks around, where the money is coming from, if he has the money to invest in the team, in the stadium, all of these things. But yeah, it's hard to be excited. It's hard to be optimistic. And at the end of the day, as a fan, there was only one deal that was the winner. And that deal didn't win, no matter if it was double the valuation of the club. So we just have to accept it. Just have to try to enjoy the ride. And if there's light at the end of the tunnel, if it is a blessing in disguise, then that's great news. And, I'll be in favour of Sir Jim Ratcliffe if he can turn the club around. And hopefully he can. So let's wait and see, We're into the unknown. Let's see what happens.
United fans, it's over. It's over. I mean, what can we say? I think we kind of half expected the whole Qatar takeover to be a bit far-fetched. It's a dream. But it doesn't... I think it hurts a bit more than it really should. Initially, we all thought that, we could get this Qatar money in. But for me, necessarily, it wasn't the Qatar money. It's about how our club is run. This whole Sir Jim Ratcliffe 25% is not really ideal for what we actually want for our club. The 25% is, yes, it's going to be in sporting decisions, but when you look at the clubs that he has control over, being Nice at the moment, the fans there aren't really too, supportive of his regime there at the moment. So what's to say that his part in Man United is going to be any better? We don't actually know that. From the evidence that we've been given, it's not really a good look. When I looked at the Qatar bid, yes, the money is attractive, but when you look at, for example, the likes of Newcastle that have the Saudi regime, Man City who have also the backing, it's a thing where they put the best in class for their clubs to be the best that it can be. PSG, the same thing. They get the best in class in terms of their board, their directors of football. And that's what I want for my club. Really and truly, it's not about the money. We make a lot of money by ourselves. but it's whether or not we can get the right people in and stop doing mates rates. Get Darren Fletcher out of that technical director role, where whatever he does, you know, for us, and get the best in class. That's ideally what I want. Yes, the money is nice, don't get me wrong. To get rid of the debt is brilliant. But just to get my club to be the best in the world again, or compete to be best in the world, I want to be, our facilities to be the best, our coaches to be the best. And I feel like having Sir Jim Ratcliffe as our CEO, as our part owner, is not going to make us any better than we really are from my side. So listen, I mean, it can only be better from here. Yes, it's new owners, it's new football regime at Man United. So I guess there's something to look hopeful for. But I guess the dream of us being the best again may have to wait. We'll see. We'll give them our backing. But I just feel like as United fans, we need to, if there's any more protests that we can do, let's back it. Let's try and see what we can do. But a change is a change. We're just gonna have to live with it. There's not much more we can do, but you know, one step at a time.